everyone, and welcome to the Room of Requirement. This is part 404 of the Threshold series, The Master Key. This is entitled The Final Gate. Let's go ahead and dive right in. A Mystery School Closing Transmission, Part 4. In the ancient mystery schools, there was a moment in every initiation when instruction stopped. Not because there was nothing more to teach, but because the teaching could no longer be given outwardly. This moment was called the closing of the outer gates. It marked the point where the student was no longer led by knowledge, but by internal authority. This is where the master key belonged. Contrary to what many modern seekers believe, the master key was never presented as information. It was recognized, and recognition could not be rushed. In the inner teachings, the master key was described as the alignment of the three centers: the body, the emotional field, and consciousness. When these three moved coherently, the initiate became safe for power. This was the true measure of readiness, not belief, not virtue, not devotion, but stability under expansion. This is why mystery schools did not reveal everything at once. They understood something we have forgotten: that awareness without containment creates distortion, that power without regulation creates harm, and that revelation without grounding fractures the psyche. So the work was always preparatory. The master key was forged through lived discipline, through silence, through repetition, and through restraint, through learning when not to act, when not to speak, when not to interfere. This is what separated the mystic from the sorcerer. The mystic could hold the current. In some traditions, the master key was symbolized as a door. Not a door to another world, but a door within the self. Once crossed, the initiate was no longer reactive. They could feel intensity without fragmentation. They could witness truth without collapse. They could act without compulsion. This is what was meant by inner authority. There is a reason this teaching is rare. It does not excite the mind, and it does not promise quick results, and it does not flatter the seeker's identity. And yet, it is the foundation beneath all real spiritual work. Those who did not pass this gate were not cast out. They were simply not admitted further, not as a punishment, but as protection. Because beyond this point, what opens cannot be undone. Here's the part that is often misunderstood. The master key does not open more doors. It closes unnecessary ones. It quiets the compulsion to seek, and it ends the hunger for constant validation. It returns authority to the center of the being. This is why the path feels quieter afterwards. In the mystery schools, this phase was followed by service. Not service as obligation, but as overflow. When the system is stable, energy moves outward naturally. Teaching becomes transmission. Presence becomes guidance. Being becomes enough. If you have been listening to the series and feeling a sense of completion, that is intentional. Not because the path ends here, but because something else begins. The master key is not something that you take with you. It is something that you become. And once you become it, you no longer need to search for doors. You recognize them by resonance. This is why no final instruction was given. The initiate was trusted to listen inwardly, to move slowly, and to respect the current. To remember that power is not proven, it is held. If you're still here listening, it's likely because this teaching did not feel new. It felt familiar, as though something ancient was being remembered rather than learned. This is how keys work. They do not add, they unlock. This is the final gate, not a conclusion, but a seal. Carry this quietly and let it work without effort. And there's nothing more to say. Okay, you guys, I hope you enjoyed the series. This is all I have for you today. Up next, I'm going to be taking a deep dive into the elements and how they are woven into our consciousness and how to work with them in daily life. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for sticking around, and I will see you guys later.